Welcome to Lecture 4, our final video of Unit 2. This video deals with paraphrasing in detail and is also going to give you the opportunity to practice paraphrasing. So what will we do in this video? We're going to discover what paraphrasing is, and we're going to learn how to paraphrase an original source. Let's revise what we looked at in the third video. What is paraphrasing? Now, according to Schober in the book Writing English with Style, paraphrasing is defined as an extensive record of the original source. In some cases, it may even be as long as the original, but the important thing is that it is written in your own words. And I've referenced Schober. As you can see from the words in bold, the most important thing about paraphrasing is that it is written in your own words. It also shouldn't be confused with summarizing, where you're making a shorter version of an original source. When you're paraphrasing, you're literally rewriting the main ideas in your own words. In short, paraphrasing is when you take the ideas or information from a source and put it into your own words. We give credit to the person who you took these ideas or information from by providing an in-text reference. The in-text reference shows the reader that this idea is not your own idea, and the reader of your assignment is still able to trace the information back to the original source if he or she would like to. In tertiary studies, the idea of intellectual property is very important. That is the notion that somebody's ideas belong to them and should not be stolen or used by anyone else without giving them credit. So, when you paraphrase, you take the words of someone else and put them into your own words. The reason that we provide an in-text reference is because we acknowledge that the idea does not belong to us. So we give credit to the person or people who thought of the idea. Remember that when you paraphrase, do not include the information in inverted commas, as you have not used the exact words of the original source. Finally, some students are tempted to put the in-text reference at the end of the paragraph. This is not correct. Like with quoting, the in-text reference should come directly after the sentence you have paraphrased, and not at the end of the paragraph. You can introduce the words you paraphrase in a variety of ways. Consult pages 14 to 15 of the Embry Referencing Techniques Guide for some ideas. A common misconception is that by swapping or juggling the words in a sentence, or by substituting a few words, you are successfully paraphrasing. This is not true. Have a look at this example. These words are taken from a website called Voice of Play and gives one benefit of an indoor play area. And it says, encourages creative flow. Kids are more likely to use their creativity when engaging in certain activities indoors. Arts and crafts and story time encourage kids to be creative, thoughtful, and imaginative in ways they can't express outside. Here is a version a student claims to have paraphrased. Let's read it. According to Voice of Play, children are more likely to be creative when engaging in some indoor activities. Crafts, arts, and story time encourage children to be thoughtful, creative, and imaginative in ways they cannot express outside. Is this paraphrasing? No. The two versions are very similar, with a few words changed or juggled around. The student has done well to reference the source with an in-text reference, but this is not true paraphrasing. So changing the word kids to children and swapping around words such as crafts, arts, and story time is not paraphrasing. Paraphrasing means taking the idea of the writer and totally changing it into your own words. A more suitable example of paraphrasing might be this example. According to Voice of Play, indoor activities such as arts, crafts, and story time are sometimes more conducive to creativity than outside play. If you compare this version to the top version, or the original source, you will see it is quite different. This might seem like quite a tricky skill, but here are some steps to make the process a little easier. The first thing you need to do in paraphrasing is read the source. Read it slowly and carefully and ensure that you understand what the author is trying to say. Secondly, you need to decide what main point the writer is trying to make. Why have they written this? What is the author trying to convince you of? Thirdly, jot down this main idea. Don't be tempted to write the whole sentence again. Try to pull out the essence of what the author is trying to say. Once you've done this, you can rephrase this main idea in your own words. Don't look at the source when you do this, because you might be tempted to rely on the original to write your paraphrased version. Finally, once you are satisfied that you've created a true paraphrase of the original, make sure to add the in-text reference to show that the idea is not your own. Let's practice paraphrasing. Here's another excerpt from the Voice of Play website giving a second benefit to indoor play areas. Read the quote. What is the main idea the author is trying to convince you of? Or what is the main idea the author is trying to make? The main idea in this excerpt is that indoor play areas can be safer than outdoor play areas. The writer substantiates or backs up this main idea by providing reasons why indoor play areas are safer than outdoor ones. And the reasons the author gives are that there are cushioned landings and there foam and soft padding. The writer also qualifies the main idea by saying it is important for children's development to also engage in risky play. Now that you have the main idea, put this into your own words. Here is one way that this excerpt could be paraphrased. The Voice of Play argues that one benefit of indoor play areas is that they can be safer than outdoor play areas due to the foam and soft padding that are prevalent. But remember, there are many different ways you could paraphrase this and still be correct. So please don't be concerned if your answer is different to mine. As long as you have reworked the main idea into your own sentence and provided an in-text reference, you are on the right track. Staying with the same website, Voice of Play, here are 3 benefits to outdoor play. Can you paraphrase all 3 of them? Pause the video now and paraphrase each point by picking out the main idea and then putting it into your own words. When you have finished, unpause the video and we'll go through some of the possible responses. Okay, so let's look at the first benefit to outdoor play. If we read the quote, it said, this study shared in the American Journal of Public Health has shown that greener, more natural settings appear to reduce ADHD symptoms in children and may encourage more independent thinking. Kids who play outdoors more often may focus better than kids who don't get much time outside. So what is the main idea of this excerpt? It is that outdoor play may encourage focus and independent thinking and could reduce the symptoms of ADHD. Let's now put this idea into your own words. Here are a couple of different ways you could do this. Firstly, the Voice of Play argues outdoor play can encourage better focus and more independent thinking, as well as reducing the symptoms of ADHD. Here's another example. One of the benefits of outdoor play is that it could reduce the symptoms of ADHD and encourage better focus and more independent thinking. These are both different, but you can see they're both accurate paraphrases of the example you were provided with. Again, there are many different ways we could paraphrase this quote. As long as your example reworks the main idea that outdoor play can encourage focus and independent thinking and might reduce the symptoms of ADHD, you are on the right track. Let's look at the second example. It says outdoor play provides vitamin D. Kids aren't getting enough vitamin D, an essential vitamin, by just drinking milk. The sun provides a free and natural way to reap these benefits and more, preventing heart disease and building strong bones. Be sure to increase vitamin D in your child's diet to reach the desired amount of 400 international units per day. So what is the main idea of this excerpt? Outdoor play means children are in the sun and therefore gaining vitamin D, which has many benefits. And we list some of the benefits, which include strong bones and preventing heart disease. Again, there are many different ways to paraphrase this, and here are two different versions. Outdoor play gives children the opportunity to be in the sun, thus exposing them to the benefits of the sun, one of which is vitamin D, which assists in building strong bones and preventing heart disease. Here's another way we could paraphrase this quote. According to Voice of Play, outdoor play benefits children as the time spent outside gives them increased sun exposure, which increases their intake of vitamin D. You will notice that both versions rely on the main idea of the excerpt, which is that outdoor play is beneficial due to increased exposure to vitamin D. As long as your paraphrase is along the same lines and has an in-text reference, you're on the right track. Let's look at this final example. Outdoor play improves vision. Optometry and vision science reported that spending more time outside can help increase your child's farsightedness due to the pupil restriction in a brighter light. So what is the main idea of this excerpt? That outdoor play has benefits for children's vision and specifically farsightedness because the pupil is restricted in brighter light. Here are two ways that this can be paraphrased. Outdoor play can assist a child's vision and specifically their ability to see far because the pupil of the eye is restricted in bright light. Here's a second way it could be paraphrased. Voice of Play claim that one of the benefits of outdoor play is that it can improve eyesight and specifically farsightedness due to the pupil being restricted in brighter light. Again, if your paraphrase talks about the benefit that outdoor play has for vision, and if it includes an in-text reference, you are on the right track. Finally, you will see that I have included my own reference list, which is also important for academics to do. If you're unsure about anything we've covered in this lecture video or any of the videos or activities in Unit 2, please make an appointment to see your lecturer or visit the Centre for Student Success to get some help.